Welcome to my channel, The Stoic Way. Before we go any further, I need you to really hear what I'm about to say, because if you've ever sat there thinking she doesn't care, she's pulling away. Maybe I'm invisible to her. You might be standing on the edge of the biggest misunderstanding of your dating life, and what I'm about to reveal might make your stomach drop in a good way. Before we dive deep, make sure you subscribe and like the video, because what you're about to learn will change the way you read women forever. Let me start by telling you something most men don't realize. Women rarely show interest in obvious, bold, straightforward ways. Not because they don't want to, but because they're terrified of being rejected, misunderstood, or seen as too available. So while you're looking for big signs, direct messages, long conversations, constant attention, she's giving you something more subtle, something quieter, softer, and much more real. And it's this: a woman who's deeply into you will show discomfort, not because you make her uneasy in a bad way, but because your presence affects her. She loses her usual emotional control. She's not cold, she's overwhelmed. This is the kind of interest men misinterpret every single day. You've probably seen it. She avoids long eye contact with you, but glances when you're not looking. She acts calm around everyone else, but becomes awkward around you. She gives short answers, not because she's bored, but because she's afraid she'll say something that reveals too much. She looks away the moment your eyes meet, like she just got caught feeling something. This isn't distance. This isn't disinterest. This is vulnerability. Her fight to maintain composure while her emotions are pulling her in your direction. A woman who's truly into you won't always flirt with confidence. Many times she'll show the opposite. She'll seem a little nervous, a little unsure, even a little inconsistent, not because she's playing games, but because caring has made her suddenly aware of every move she makes around you. And the biggest mistake men make is assuming that the most confident, expressive woman is the one who likes the most. But the truth is, the woman who's deepest into you is often the one trying the hardest to hide it. Because real feelings don't make her smooth, they make her human. There's a moment every man has experienced but rarely understands. That instant when a woman shifts her energy around you. She's not the same with you as she is with other people, and that difference is the truth she's trying to hide. When a woman is deeply into you, she becomes hyper-aware of herself. Her voice softens without her noticing. Her posture changes. Her guard rises not to block you out, but to stop herself from revealing everything she feels. Most men expect warmth, flirtation, or excitement, but a woman who genuinely likes you often shows the exact opposite. Small signs of emotional tension. It's not rejection. It's not coldness. It's her heart racing faster than her confidence can keep up with. And if you've ever seen a woman act differently around you in a way you couldn't explain, that was her interest slipping through the cracks. Watch her closely, not in a creepy way, but in a grounded, masculine, observant way. Look at how she behaves around others versus around you. Does she get more talkative with her friends, but quieter with you? That quietness isn't boredom, it's caution. It's her brain telling her to choose every word carefully because she cares about how she sounds. A woman who doesn't care will talk freely. A woman who feels something will measure herself. Or maybe she does the opposite. Maybe she talks more around you, almost nervously, filling the silence because she wants to impress you, but she's scared of letting the silence get awkward. That's not random. That's interest leaking out of her self-control. And if she fidgets with her hair, adjusts her clothes, or gives those short, quick glances your way, those are not coincidences. Those are micro-confessions, little flashes of emotion she tries to hide, but her body refuses to silence. But here's the part no one tells men. A woman who's deeply into you will sometimes pull back, not because she's losing interest, but because she's trying to regulate it. She takes a step back when she feels herself getting too close. She acts a little distant because closeness feels too real too fast. This is especially true for women who've been hurt before. Her distance isn't a wall, it's a pause, a moment to breathe, a moment to steady herself so she doesn't fall too quickly. If you've noticed these shifts, these subtle tremors in her behavior, you're not imagining it, you're seeing the truth she won't say out loud. Here's the part most men completely miss. A woman who is deeply into you doesn't just show it with her words or actions. It shows in the little details that almost no one else notices. These are the moments when she forgets she's being watched, the tiny cracks in her composure where her feelings peek through. And if you learn to read them, you'll never misinterpret her again. Notice how she reacts when you laugh at something she says, or even when you just smile at her. Does she tense up for a split second, then try to hide it? That's not awkwardness. That's her nervous system responding to you. She feels something and her body is betraying her. A woman who doesn't care will remain emotionally neutral. She won't have these micro reactions that ripple through her expression, her posture, or her tone. And it goes deeper than that. When a woman likes you, she mirrors your behavior, often unconsciously. She leans forward when you lean forward. She tilts her head when you tilt yours. She laughs slightly after you do, not to copy you, but because she's attuned to you in a way she isn't with anyone else. This is her brain signaling. I want to connect. I want to be near you. Another key sign is attention, but not obvious attention. Real attention, the kind that shows in how she remembers things about you. The small details, what you said 3 conversations ago, a joke you made, the way you like your coffee, or your music. She stores these details because you matter, and when she references them later, even casually, she's sending a subtle message. You occupy space in my mind. Here's the twist most men never catch. Women who are deeply into you often test boundaries, not to play games, but to gauge your interest and emotional strength. Maybe she flirts slightly, teases you, or challenges you in conversation. She's watching your reactions, seeing if you can meet her. Energy. If you're confident enough to hold the space she's offering without overreacting. If you misread these tests as disinterest or rejection, you'll miss the truth entirely. The real signal isn't the teasing itself, it's the fact she's willing to engage in it at all. A woman who doesn't care won't bother. She'll stay neutral, she'll stay safe. And one final thing, when she's deeply into you, she's watching for consistency, not from you trying to impress her, but from you being yourself. She's looking to see if your words match your energy. If your presence feels genuine, that's why patience is key. Rushing her or demanding attention will push her away, but understanding her subtle signs draws her in even closer. There is a moment when a woman's feelings become so real that she can't keep pretending they aren't there. And instead of leaning forward, she often does something that confuses men completely. She becomes protective of herself. Not cold, not distant, protective. This is the stage where interest turns into emotional risk, and risk demands caution. You'll notice it when she starts setting small boundaries. She might delay replying, not to ignore you, but to slow herself down. She might suddenly become more composed, less spontaneous than before. This isn't her losing attraction. This is her trying not to fall too fast. A woman who doesn't care has nothing to regulate. A woman who feels something has everything to lose. Pay attention to how she reacts when you pull back slightly. If she notices, if her energy shifts, if she checks in, if she becomes subtly more attentive, that's not coincidence. Indifference doesn't react. Emotional investment does. When a woman is deeply into you, your absence is louder than your presence. Another sign appears when she starts seeking emotional safety rather than excitement. She listens more carefully. She asks deeper questions. She wants to understand how you think, not just how you look or what you do. This is when attraction matures into attachment. She's not chasing stimulation anymore. She's evaluating trust. And here's something most men misinterpret as friend zone behavior. When she opens up emotionally, when she talks about her fears, her past, her disappointments, men often assume this means she sees you as safe, but not attractive. In reality, emotional disclosure is one of the strongest indicators of romantic interest. Women do not reveal vulnerability to men they don't care about. They share it with men they feel drawn to and protected by. You might also notice she becomes more sensitive to your reactions. A joke that would normally roll off her back suddenly matters. Your tone, your pauses, your responses. She notices them. That's because your opinion has weight now. And nothing makes a woman more careful than caring about how she's seen by someone she's emotionally invested in. At this stage, your job is not to chase or interrogate her feelings. It's to remain grounded, calm, consistent. Emotional steadiness is magnetic here. When you don't rush, when you don't pressure, you give her the space to feel safe stepping closer on her own terms. Because when a woman is deeply into you, she doesn't need to be convinced. She needs to feel secure enough to stop protecting herself and start choosing you. Now, here's the truth that separates men who unknowingly push women away from men. Women slowly grow attached to. When a woman is deeply into you, she begins watching how you handle power, not control power, the emotional kind. She's observing whether you become impatient, needy, or performative once you sense her interest. And this is where everything either deepens or collapses. You'll notice that she starts giving you opportunities instead of signals, moments where she pauses and lets you lead. Silence she doesn't rush to fill, decisions she lets you make. This is not passivity. This is invitation. She's seeing if you can hold emotional space without demanding reassurance. A man who panics in these moments reveals insecurity. A man who stays calm shows maturity, and that's intoxicating. Another subtle sign appears in how she disagrees with you. If she challenges your opinion but stays engaged, stays present, stays curious about your response, she's invested. Disinterest disengages. Caring leans in even during friction. Conflict handled with respect builds attraction faster than agreement ever could. You may also notice that she becomes more selective with her attention. She doesn't spread herself thin anymore. She prioritizes conversations with you, even if she doesn't always initiate. This is where many men misjudge the situation and start over pursuing. They think they need to lock it down, define it, secure it. But attraction at this stage grows best in calm certainty, not pressure. When a woman is deeply into you, she wants to feel chosen, not cornered. She wants to know you want her, but she also wants to know you don't need her to be whole. This balance is what allows her to relax into her feelings. Pay attention to how she responds when you're emotionally steady, when you don't rush replies, when you don't over-explain, when you don't react impulsively. If she moves closer emotionally, shares more, softens around you, that's confirmation. Her nervous system is responding to your stability. And here's the final sign most men completely miss. She begins to picture you in her future, not dramatically, not directly, but subtly. She starts using we instead of I. She casually mentions future moments. Without realizing it, she mentally places you beyond the present. That never happens by accident. It happens when interest has quietly transformed into attachment. This is the moment where everything connects, where the truth becomes impossible to deny. When a woman is deeply into you, her behavior shifts. It stops being about attraction and starts being about alignment. She's no longer asking herself, "Do I like him?" She's asking, "Is it safe to let him matter?" And that question changes everything. You'll feel it in the way she relaxes around you. The tension softens, the guarded edges disappear. She becomes more natural, more present, more herself. This isn't boredom, this is comfort. And comfort is the doorway to real emotional bonding. A woman doesn't become comfortable with a man she feels nothing for. She becomes comfortable with a man she is slowly choosing. You'll also notice consistency where hesitation once existed. She shows up when she says she will. She follows through. She no longer disappears and reappears unpredictably. Her actions begin to quietly align with her feelings, not loudly, not dramatically, but reliably. Another powerful sign shows up in how she responds to your flaws. Instead of pulling away when you're imperfect, she stays engaged. She doesn't idealize you, but she doesn't withdraw either. This is massive. It means she's stopped fantasizing and started investing. She sees you clearly and still leans in. At this stage, your role is simple, but not easy. Don't sabotage it with fear. Don't test her. Don't demand clarity she hasn't offered yet. Emotional safety grows when it isn't interrogated. Let the connection breathe. Let her move at the pace her nervous system allows. Understand this. Women don't fall in love through pressure. They fall in love through presence, through consistency, through feeling emotionally held without being controlled. If she's deeply into you, she's already halfway there. Your job is to not push her back with insecurity or urgency. And if you recognize these signs, discomfort turning into protection, protection turning into trust, trust turning into comfort, then you were never invisible to her. You were impactful. You mattered more than you realized. So the next time you catch yourself thinking she doesn't care, pause. Look deeper, because the quietest signs often carry the strongest feelings. Stay grounded, stay present, and remember, real interest doesn't shout, it stays. Thanks for watching. If you found like this video, please press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel, The Stoic Way.